this sad milestone in the coronavirus crisis. More than 200,000 Americans have now died of COVID-19, the highest death toll of any nation in the world, equivalent to the entire population of Salt Lake City, Utah. There was a moment of silence on the floor of the House, and there you see a breathtaking tribute to the lives lost, 20,000 American flags at the base of the Washington Monument.
4 top health officials, including the heads of the CDC, the FDA, and Dr. Anthony Fauci, will testify before the Senate today. And in just a moment, we will speak with the U.S. Surgeon General as well. But let's go right to Steve Osunsami outside the CDC with the latest on the race for the vaccine. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you all. A safe and effective vaccine would, of course, help everyone. And the president is hoping to have one ready by Election Day. But that is now 6 weeks away.
The chances of getting a safe and effective COVID vaccine by the November election are sinking fast this morning with a new report from the Washington Post. The paper is reporting that the FDA is ready to announce, quote, tough and rigorous new rules for the various drug makers, including a requirement that the drug companies monitor volunteers who are testing these new drugs for about 2 months after they get their second dose of the potential vaccine. The FDA this morning isn't confirming the report, but tells ABC News it previously noted that it intends to issue additional guidance shortly. They need to hurry. Johnson & Johnson is announcing that they've started accepting volunteers for the last stage of testing for their potential vaccine. 4 other drug makers are also in the final stretch. Already, health authorities report that more than 200,000 Americans have died from COVID-19, a tall and tragic number that the country hurdled on Tuesday. On this same day, friends and family remembered the life of Native American lawmaker Angela McCarthy in Oklahoma, who was killed by the coronavirus.
She passionately cared about her Kiowa people, and she took her role very seriously.
They're grieving in Spartanburg, South Carolina, too. 44-year-old Michael Horton was a retired deputy sergeant who died this weekend after fighting the coronavirus for weeks in an area hospital.
Michael was my best friend. We shared everything.
The president had little to say to reporters who asked about the tragic milestone.
Anybody else?
Later at a crowded rally, he talked about the former vice president wearing a mask.
He's like 100 yards from the nearest human being. He's got a mask. He feels good about the mask. I wonder, in the debate, it'll be him and I on the stage. Is he going to walk in with a mask?
Public health experts underline that the United States has only 4% of the world's population, but more than 20% of the deaths from COVID-19. Former Vice President Joe Biden sees this as a losing issue for the president and says the president was wrong to say that the coronavirus has hurt, quote, virtually nobody.
This virus spares no one. Maybe Donald Trump sees these people as nobodies. I don't. We lost 200,000 moms and dads, sons and daughters, friends and coworkers, and not a single one of them was a nobody.
Medical professionals here are worried about something that they're calling a twindemic, a large number of COVID-19 cases and flu cases hitting at the same time. George?
Okay, Steve, thanks very much. Let's talk to America's top medical professional right now, the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Jerome Adams. Dr. Adams, thanks for joining us again this morning. More than 200,000 deaths, cases rising in more than half our states, positivity rates are going up. As Surgeon General of the United States, can you say that we have done and are doing everything we can to get this virus under control?
Well, good morning, George. Thank you for having me, and thank you to the Passamaquoddy tribe in Maine for giving me that mask. Every death that occurs in this country that's preventable is a tragedy, and I want you to know that the public health officials here in D.C. are, in fact, doing everything that we can to get the message out that the power to stop this virus spread lies in our hands. Wearing a mask, washing your hands, watching your distance, what I call the 3 W's. But as fall comes up, it's important to know there's one more thing that we can do, and that's get our flu shot. 40,000 people died last year from the flu, and we don't want this double whammy of flu on top of COVID. We want people to understand that if you're pregnant, that if you're older, you can decrease your risk of hospitalization by 40% if you get your flu shot, and you can prevent healthcare workers having to be overwhelmed simply by doing something that has been around for decades: get your flu vaccine.
Important reminder right there. And you've been so vigilant about wearing a mask. You wore one as we were coming on the air right now. You urge others to do it all the time. So how do you square that with the president's rally last night? You saw him tweet out that photo, packed rally. many people in the crowd not wearing masks. He made light of Vice President Biden wearing a mask. How do you square that with your message?
Well, I appreciate the question, George, and I'm literally standing here in Washington, D.C., looking at the Capitol with the Supreme Court behind me. I've got Democrats who want me to condemn people who are out at the presidential rally. I've got Republicans who want me to condemn people who are going to vigils. And at the end of the day, the virus doesn't care about your politics. It doesn't care what you're going out for. It only cares whether or not you're following public health measures. So what I would say to everyone, politics aside, wear a mask. If you can't stay more than 6 feet from other people, watch your distance and make sure you're washing your hands as frequently as you can, because the way we all come out of this is by doing our part.
As Steve reported, the FDA is planning to issue new guidelines for emergency use of a vaccine. Can you explain why this is important, and what do you make of the fact that so many Americans now, so many more Americans are saying they're afraid to take the vaccine, they won't do it?
Well, again, I think it's become politicized, and it's important for people to understand we have a process. We have a data safety monitoring board. We have institutional review boards. We have independent people who are going to look at safety and efficacy before it ever gets to the point of approval or authorization. And I will be in line to get that vaccine when they tell me I can and when it's safe and it's effective. But again, we have a vaccine right now, and I hope this is an opportunity for people to have a conversation about the safety and efficacy of vaccines for the flu. Get your flu vaccination, talk to your doctor about the process, become comfortable with it, because what would be a shame is if we actually have a vaccine that's safe and effective for COVID and we don't use it to stop this pandemic. And what would be a shame is if we have another 40,000 people die this year unnecessarily because of the flu.
Dr. Adams, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.